Hello and welcome to the Bentleigh Report. It is November 2022. I'm Gary Peer.
I'm Leon Guzenfitter.
You are Leon Guzenfitter. I like to call you Mr. Bentleigh when we get together like this. And just to review what's going on out there in the world of real estate in Bentleigh and surrounds, because of course you are, situated in Bentleigh.
Yep.
That's where the office is, that's where the team is, that's where the expertise is. But it goes way beyond. We're selling stuff in East Brighton and in Ormond and McKinnon and doing a lot back in the territory that you dominated for so long in Caulfield South. How are you feeling about the market? Got any thoughts right now about where we're at?
Look, I think we're in the opportunity phase, Gary.
Yep.
I've sort of heckled you a couple of times, even on this show, about opportunities that arose and times where buyers were hesitant and where people could have, should have, would have, but didn't and missed out on when it bounced back, like it no doubt, undoubtedly will.
Of course.
And I think we're in that time. I think we're at that time where there's some really good properties that haven't sold. Or are not getting level of competition that's required, that people will look back at this November to probably March window going, had I bought then, basically whatever I would have bought in 2 years' time is almost a guarantee to print money.
You know, it's funny, I remember in 2019, I think it was. 2018, you identified the market. And of course, you don't know. I mean, you think you know, and you might be right, but you don't know. No one knows. No one's got a crystal ball. It could have necessarily not be right. It might not be right now either. But I think we get a strong sense, having been around a while, you get a good sense. It's very difficult to get hold of good properties. It's very hard to prize vendors out of them, and especially when you're talking about pricing vendors out of homes for prices less than they could have got a year ago. That's quite rare in our game. We don't see that very often. So if the opportunity is there, buyers, you should jump on them, because there are some beautiful homes being offered at the moment and some that haven't sold that should have sold. So if you get that opportunity, take it from us. You might just put us into a time capsule now, put this edition aside and look back in maybe March 2024 or maybe late next spring and say, gee, that they were just good salespeople trying to tell me to get into the market, but had I listened to them, I would have made X amount of dollars. Let's talk about some of the properties that have been sold, because there's been some great sales that have happened. Some beautiful homes. We continue to sell so many of the best homes in Bentleigh. So thank you to all of those vendors that entrust us at that absolute elite level to sell the best houses. It's very exciting for us and for our brand to come to town. We have been selling in Bentleigh since 1986. And for me, even a bit before that. But now, of course, we have our office and our team and our flagship office situated in Centre Road. So it's lovely to be on the ground. Elizabeth Street, Bentleigh East. I mean, that's a fascinating story. Tell us a bit about the auction there. Yeah,
I mean, it was a terrific campaign. Day one, it was a very cold, wet day where it was absolutely going sideways, and we had no less than 74 groups of people through this house. So that day one told us there are a lot of families that want to buy a big freestanding home in Bentleigh East. As the weeks go by, the numbers did drop off. We never had 74 again.
Understandably.
But we did have 150 people through that campaign in 4 weeks. The vendors had a reserve at 1.7, and we're secretly hoping, based on the level of interest, that we'd get to 175 was a real thrilled price.
And of course, the reserve is given to us on the day of the auction, just so everybody else.
And it was 1.7, which is top of our guide. But they were hoping to get 175, and it just got blown out of the water. We had 8 people compete for it, and it sold for $2,080,000, which we think is a very strong result. And when you have that level of demand, those prices are still achievable.
Now, for those cynics out there that think everything sells, above the range, which was happening and does happen often in a rising market, happened a year ago, not so much now. A lot more is selling within the range, but there still are some outstanding properties. And look, we do 20 to 30 sales a week. You'll always be 2 or 3 that will be through the roof. There'll be a couple that might be a little bit less than what we expected, and so many of them end up in the range. But we have been very busy in Hopkins Street, McKinnon, both at 2 at 25 Hopkins and most recently at 2 at 43 Hopkins, which both sold in that sort of around that 1.4 range for under intense competition. Absolutely.
Look, both single level villas in good order with no work to be spent, 1 of 2 on the land. I think that, as a townhouse becomes a traditional family home, I think that type of property is a very versatile property, because not only is it good for young families in terms of physically not having stairs and be able to be on the ground, it's also very good for downsizers. So it really captures both of those markets well, and hence both of those campaigns did particularly well.
Interesting to say that, because 2 at 43 Hopkins was sold to a young family, a lady's going to be delivering her first baby in March, who lives in Paran. So interesting how people are moving across as we see that so often. And I think they mentioned that mum, or soon to be grandmum, walks with a frame, and that single level setup is perfect. So single level villas very strong. Banksia Street, Bentleigh East, another great address. Tell us about that.
Yeah, it was.
Auction.
It was a very unique home. If it's on the screen behind us, it looks like
we're in it now.
We're in the house now.
It feels nice.
It does look like
smells good. Oh, could be a coffee brew in the kitchen. Go on.
You're taking it too far, Gary.
Okay.
It looks like a really big house, but it was on a compact block. It was a freestanding home. And again, a very popular campaign. We had over 100 groups through, but only 2 bidders on the day. And I'm seeing a bit of that too. We might have huge numbers through, but only 1 or 2, maybe 3 on the day. We had these 2 bidders, and interestingly, we had a reserve, I think off the top of my head, in the mid 1-2s. And the owner said, my lucky number is 1 million, is 333. Can you get 1333?
Yeah.
And we got
1333.
We did.
That's freaky, isn't it? And that was kind of said as a bit of a joke, but freaky result. So well done to the vendor.
If only her favourite number was 1555,
would have even been better.
Maybe would have been better for them.
Well done. Not many vendors get it to the dollar, so that was a very fortuitous. But there you go. We're lucky that we were able to deliver the aspiration of that client. Now he was a great player for Essendon, wasn't he? Damien Ardwick.
Damien Ardwick. He had a H in his name, and 8 Ardwick Street doesn't.
Okay, well, let's talk about 8A Ardwick Street.
Yeah, this is a really beautiful development. We sold a developer the land, and shout out to Garn Homes, who do a really great job all around Melbourne, and thank you for the opportunity of working with you on this sale. We've sold 8A for 1,810,000.
Yep.
I love that little pocket of Bentleigh, Gary, because I see that Halley Park is just an incredible park. Yep. It was just within our 5K zone for lockdown time, so we went to that park a fair bit. Had a great playground for my young kids. And if you go right out of this development, you're at about 100 metres to Halley Park. Yep. And if you go left about 200 metres, you're at Patterson Station.
Nice.
Into the city quickly, as people are now back into the city. We're noticing lunchtime, midweek opens aren't as busy anymore because people are back in the city. They're coming back after in the evenings. But that strip of shops, I think I've raised it before. Every time I drive through there, I find an older shop is closing and a new one is opening up.
Something funky happening. So, I know, I've seen it myself driving past it.
You've got to be investing in the areas where people are investing into.
That's right, being gentrified and being, coming to life with all sorts of new, wonderful, funky places. We like that a lot. Just getting off the sales for a second, talking about some community news. Good to again be the major sponsors of the Spooky Halloween event.
We did.
Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, it was terrific. I know my kids and Jess were there to get some lollies and share in the fun. Yep. And the weather just held off enough. Which,
Is it at Coatesville? Is that where it started?
It's Coatesville Tennis Club and in the surrounding streets. And again, we've been very happy to be the major sponsor there for a 3rd or 4th year in a row now.
Yep. Got some images, I hope, on the screen there.
A really terrific community event. Yep. Well received, jumping castles and lollies and coffee vans and most importantly lollies. So I'm actually wondering why the dentists don't sponsor events like that. They really should. That's where who gets the real benefit of it.
They are the beneficiaries of it. There's no doubt about that. And I don't mind the odd lolly. I would have loved to have come myself, but we were away then, of course, on a bit of a study tour. But well done to all of the organisers and to all of those that ran and all those enjoyed. Congratulations. I hope you had a great time at the Gary Pearce sponsored Spooky Halloween event. Let's talk about some of the things that are coming up. We talked about Ardwick Street being sold, but there's some good news if you missed out on that one.
That's right. So now the other half has come up for sale, which is 8B, which if you like to walk your dog is one house closer to the park. There we go.
Lovely.
If you like the playground, it's about 7 metres closer, but it's 7 metres further away from the station, but that's going to be okay.
I think we can work with those distances,
we're looking at 1.7 to 1.8, and it's it's a very unique property, Gary, where every bedroom has an ensuite.
Like that? Not very many like that.
And there's a 5th toilet in case there's a,
That's a kind of $5 million house kind of setup, isn't it, in terms of amenity? So that's fantastic. You won't have to pay that there, quote range in that sort of 1.7 to 1.8. Leon, Deakin Street, Bentleigh East, a good address. Tell us a bit about number 58B.
Yeah, that goes to auction this week. I think this is the best value townhouse that has up to 4 bedrooms in the McKinnon school zone. So I think this is, again, an opportunity. If people are looking to get into that zone and don't have $2 million plus, but want something to have to spend no money on and want to get into that zone, 58B Deakin, I believe you can't. I don't know of another property with ourselves or another agent that's better value than this one. If you want to get into that zone, or even this is almost getting to investment price, Gary, where if you're a long-term investor, you can get in there and get great rents in that area. I'd be looking at this property.
Well, talking about great properties, we've got another one in Quinns Road also coming up in Bentleigh East. Tell us a bit about this fine-looking home.
Again, a modern townhouse, double story, which is again becoming the traditional family home now, as getting full blocks is getting too expensive for most families. I love the position here because it's really close to GSAC. So, GSAC, such a great initiative that came to the Bentleigh East area 10 years ago. And it's just a really happening area, very popular, family friendly. And again, if you're looking to get into the Bentleigh East market with no money spent under 1.5, this is something you should have a look at.
208 Jean Street, McKinnon. We love McKinnon. We sell so much there. We sell well there. Tell us about this home.
Yeah, get you into the zone, of course, most importantly. And second of all, another single level unit with a double lock-up garage.
Hard to get.
I think, similar to the ones in Hopkins Street. Now, we've had like 2 or 3 come up in a row. We had one in Florence Street,
and we sold that,
which we didn't mention. But look, I'm a car guy, as you know, Gary. Get that amount of car amenity off the street, securely locked up, I think is a great bonus. I'm sure 208 Jean Street will go well.
Good opportunity for someone there. Let's wrap up with the final two. 6A Forster Court in Bentleigh East. Now, this is an amazing property.
This is a great property, and this is going to fall into my Leon's buyers category. Unfortunately, this one hasn't sold. And when we looked at all the evidence for this property probably 2 or 3 months ago, we saw lots of activity in the $1.7 to $1.8 million range. This is in a quiet court within real short walking distance of the new campus of McKinnon, and it's for private sale at $1,579.
Wow, that's good value.
And I'm thinking that before this show gets edited and sent out, we're a strong chance of getting it sold. So if this does make it out and you check it out online at 6A Forster Court, Bentleigh East, and it hasn't sold, this is definitely really good buying now.
Jump on it. That could be our buy of the week. And we wrap up with London Street. In Bentleigh, another fine home. Tell us about this one.
Yeah, and look, all my properties that I sell, that we sell, are my favourite, but this one's my favourite, Gary.
Favourite of favourite.
My favourite. I mean, when I got the opportunity to list this property, and I walked through it, I thought, in my opinion, this will be the benchmark for price for a property of its type in the area.
You've been raving about this place.
And it hasn't sold. Which again goes to, for me, is the opportunity to buy a freestanding home, which has been architecturally designed, incredibly finished by a reputable builder, which is Finney Constructions, and they've done a great job, and we've sold for that family as well. So appreciate the work that you do and the quality that you produce.
Well done to them.
I don't know if you'll find, even if you just want to see and have a bit of a perv on great property, this is one to have a look at, where the only mistake the owners have probably made is I probably put a little bit too much into it.
Well, if that's the mistake, that you buying a house from a vendor that's put too much in, let that be the best mistake that you can take advantage of or enjoy. That's a big wrap in Bentleigh. There's some great things happening. We continue to sell the best homes in the area. We don't sell the most homes in the area, nor do we need to be able to give our clients a great service experience and to get the best prices, but we're lucky enough to sell the best homes, and we're going to continue to do that through Leon Guzenfitter and his wonderful team. We've got a few new people there and another maybe new person coming, so the team is growing. If you're looking for a job in real estate and you are exceptional, give Leon a call. We'd love to have you involved in their office. We are forever growing and growing at a rapid rate, that's for sure. But that is a big wrap on the market in Bentleigh and surrounds. We'll continue to keep you informed. We'll have another quick episode later in the year to shut down and look at the year in review. But that's it for now. I'm Gary Peer.
I'm Leon Guzenfitter.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.